Now that you have come to the end of your presentation, you don't just want it to fizzle out right at the very end. Your conclusion should include the following. Tell them what you have tried to show in your presentation. In other words, give a brief summary outlining the main points to make sure that the audience has remembered what the presentation was about. Another way is to link the conclusion back to your opening by giving a relevant quote, showing a comparison, giving an example, or posing a rhetorical relevant question, as long as it links back to your opening. Your conclusion could be in the form of a message, a commentary, and the lessons learned, as well as some suggestions and recommendations. You should restate the purpose of your talk and say that you have achieved your aim by saying something like, my intention was to show you how to save money and I have done this by, and then tell them how you have achieved this. Make sure you thank the audience for attending and invite them to ask questions or open a discussion, especially if you said that you would have questions at the end. If you do invite questions, make sure that you are well prepared in advance so that you can answer whatever question may come up. So now that we have come to the end of part 1, and to conclude, let's look at some of the things that were discussed in this part. We looked at our audience and the things that we need to think about and consider when it comes to them. We looked at the content and things to remember in relation to the content. Next was the practical considerations. This included things like size of the venue, time of the presentation, seating arrangements, audibility, and equipment. And the last part was to do with the planning of the delivery. And this included how to open, what the body of the presentation should contain, and how to close or conclude the presentation. Now let's move on to exercise 4. How will this session make your presentation or speech better? In other words, what have you learned in this session? Number 2, what was new to you and what did you find most beneficial?